I'm sorry.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Funday.
Yes, I put the lid on her little wine glass.
And it's so tight
It threw everything off kilter.
Quickly get it on and off. How are you on this Sunday? Welcome to Sunday Funday with Paul and Judy.
Yes, I'm Paul. But listen, I looked at the way that you promoted it.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about you.
Yes. Today it's all about you.
It's not because we're being nice.
Actually, it is. But as you probably saw from Paul's video yesterday, or maybe you didn't, but that is one thing that we can show you, is we just decided that we were going to ask all kinds of questions and get all kinds of answers. So we think it'll be really fun and different. And actually, I remember last weekend telling you that Suzanne Runyon was going to join us, and plans changed a little bit.
Yep.
So she's not available. And she said, I think we need to do this another Sunday. I've got a lot going on. It's craft month at HSN. And of course, she's the craft girl, the craft guru. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we decided to postpone her visit. I was very cool with it. You know, with things like this, you have to be very flexible. So that's one of the reasons that we said, okay, well, I had everything set up to go in that direction. So now about face, and we'll go in this direction. So we thought it would be really fun to welcome you to the show and truly make it all about you.
Yep.
Should we show your video first so we can also give the other reason that we're making it all about them?
Hygiene was not taken care of. Let's take a look at this.
Okay. Yeah, this will give you a little bit of a hint. Okay, hold on.
Hi, everybody. Welcome into the Colored Gemstone Academy. I am apologetically having to say that I will not be able to release a video today. Well, except this one. Judy and I took a little trip down to Naples, Florida. And we came on, I want to say it was Wednesday morning. We were going to spend the night. We got caught up in doing some things down here. It is now Saturday morning, almost 10 o'clock when my videos usually drop, and I did not bring a camera, so was not prepared to be here where we are. I'll get back on the normal schedule next week, so I hope that you will accept my apologies for not getting the video out today, but I will do so as soon as I can. Thanks again for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. See you next time, everybody. Bye. There's so many things that are spectacular about that, I don't know where to begin. First of all, it looks like a hostage video. All I'm missing is holding up the newspaper for proof of life. Didn't shave because, again, it was going to be one night.
It was supposed to be one night, you know, so you take...
Didn't even get a razor.
Yeah, enough to, you know, to brush your teeth, basically, deodorant, a change of clothes, hopefully a change of underwear.
Yes. We were at business meeting. And it's supposed to be one night, and then somebody else got delayed, and then they were added to the business meeting, so we spent the night. Then there was a dinner thing that night, so we had to spend another night, and we actually had to go shop for clothes. It was I'm like,
I can't wear the same thing 3 days in a row.
Yeah. And then the audacity, so that's why I said there's so much going on, that I didn't put out a video and still asked you to subscribe.
I know, I saw that. I was going to say, wow, that's pretty bold. Yeah. Did you think about it at the time?
No, I don't care.
It really was funny.
But things happen. We adjust. Things change.
And we forget. We're so out of sorts that we forgot our cheers to you. So if you brought your beverage, whatever it may be, cheers, take a sip. And we hope you're having a great day and it'll be a good show.
Okay, so first topic of the day. I'm going to just go ahead and throw the first topic out.
Okay, wait. Before you do, one thing I want to remind everybody.
What's that?
This one, because this is a really, really good topic.
What is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay. And some of you have already said from where you're watching.
Right. And
so be sure to keep that coming as you send in your comments.
And can you hear us and see us?
Yes.
That's
yes. It looks like from the comments that nobody's saying, can't hear you, can't see you. What's going on? Are you still doing a show today?
I just saw Glenna, and she had yet another spectacular comment
on that video that we just
saying, yeah, another cliffhanger.
Exactly.
Here's the Glenna's comment.
Awesome. Okay, so let me put up then another of our little fun
comment
announcements. Yeah, since that, but be sure to tell us from where you're watching.
Okay, so here's what prompted this. I think that Judy and I were looking at pictures of old times and things, and then you look at your parents at a certain age, and you're thinking, "Well, I'm actually older than they were in that picture," you know, and that kind of thing. So when you were a kid, what age did you consider old? Because I'm sure that's a moving target as you age yourself.
Oh yeah.
So I'll ask Judy first. You can be the first respondent.
I think that, you know, the moment you're able to be conscious as a kid, you start thinking about who's older than you, and that you'll never get there.
Be that
yeah,
age.
You'll never be that age. So probably my parents were the oldest. I thought they were old. And of course, grandparents are always just, they're that age forever. You know, they're never going to die. They're always going to look like that. That's all you ever knew them as.
Right.
And then you grow up and you realize it doesn't stay the same, does it?
And I think when people are like over 30, you're like,
You know, and it was so funny when you said you wanted to do that particular subject on the show, because I heard the very same thing on the radio.
She told me that.
It was so funny. And it really, they said, I think that the show that I was listening to on the way to my bar class, it was not at what age did you think you were old, but at what age did you have sort of one of those aha, things have got to change moments? And the guy said 30. I thought 30 was old. That was a long way away. And then he said, and then I turned 30 last year. You know, he said, someday, when did the someday come? I think was the response. And he said 30, because someday I was going to fall in love. Someday I was going to have kids. Someday I was going to buy a house. Someday I was going to have enough money to buy my own car. And so that someday for him was 30. Do you know what it was for you?
It's when I started to tell people to get off my lawn.
Last year?
That's a term I use in basketball all the time.
Yeah.
On defense. When they try and come in and score in the lane, I tell them, because I can't just say my house like I did when I was younger.
Right.
I say, get off my lawn.
So what happened last weekend at basketball? Somebody had a really funny comment. Something about weeds or something on your lawn.
Yeah, I said, I saw some weeds, because I fouled somebody pretty viciously.
Oh.
And so someone said, you're taking your lawn very seriously this week. And I said, well, I saw some weeds sprouting up. I had to nip
do
it in the bud.
something about it. So in my teens, my parents seemed old and my grandparents were ancient. I know, you were never going to get there, right? You were never going to see that age. I'll tell you another time that I thought that I sort of felt young and thought that people were old. And I am now that person that, as a host on QVC or a host on HSN, I am now talking to. I am that person. I am that age. Because we used to, when we were 30 years old, you know, have to sell this stuff for crepey skin. And I would think, this is great for crepey skin. I don't know
anything about that.
If I was pointing in the right direction as to what crepey skin I was talking about, but this was going to fix it. Now I'm at that age where I need that crepey skin stuff. You know, so maybe that was it.
I'll tell you the other weird part from our perspective. Keep your comments, because that's why I did this.
50, I had a hard time with, and even worse, when in May I'll be 62. Hey. Yeah, 50 always did sound like an old age, didn't it? Well, 30, you remember sounding old, but then you got there, and then we keep moving the bar. Yeah.
Even though Judy and I never met until the QVC days, we both got into the industry at almost exactly the same time.
Right.
So I would have been 29 years old.
Okay.
And because of the nature of the business, it's like all of the people that work behind the scenes were always younger.
Yeah.
Oh, and they still are.
And they will always be.
Right.
I love that one. All my teachers old.
Oh, that's a good one.
Very true. That's very true. Yes. And I remember the name of all my elementary school teachers. Isn't that funny?
I got to know them well because I was always in detention. So
I find that hard to believe.
No, I think I can say this word without offending anyone. I was a smart ass.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And
I think coaches, 40, I remember saying 40 isn't fatal when I was younger. So 40 was your someday.
I remember that everything became the new something, like 40 is the new 30.
Right.
And 50 is the new 40.
I know.
Yeah.
As you say, we keep changing the bar. Very different in today's world, that's for sure. Newscasters now look like teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were always old too.
Oh, but then there's always
That's a
that
good
one, like
point.
the one, we don't watch local news. I know it's really weird.
Yeah,
We never don't.
No,
Yeah.
well, now that you have so many choices on TV, we're bouncing around all the time.
Or that interweb thing. But no, I remember like sometimes
Great point, Mary Ann. 60 was old. Now that she's past 60, she
what
feels
I'm talking
young.
about.
See? And I love that. That should have been another good question. When did you feel like maybe you started to go backwards? And I don't know if maybe it's mental, because obviously the number never goes backwards. But yeah, you get to a certain age and you think, but I don't feel that old, right? That's funny.
But what's weird is then you meet somebody who's your same age, but you think they look ancient. You're like, wait a minute.
Look, I think you realize you're getting old when you end up sitting in the front seat, even though it's reserved for other people. It didn't finish the sentence because I think it only gives 2 lines on this particular software. That's good. That's very good. That's true. When you get a surprise party when you're young and the balloons just say another number, but then you see those, we went to a birthday party, speaking of that, and I decided not to bring balloons with the number on it because for the very same reason I thought, well, they might not want that advertised. They might not want to think they look that old.
Plus, there's so many candles on the cake, it's likely to explode with the helium.
Last year, my 70th birthday was hard to swallow, but I feel young inside. Good. That's exactly. I was 22 in my first year of teaching when I got a new student. When his mom came to the open house, she was shocked when she met me. We'll have to read the rest of the story in the comments after the show because it didn't show up. Hi, Susan. Thanks for catching up and joining us today.
I will. Yeah, I will tell you.
It's a fun subject.
Judy knows this. I had a terrible back in my 40s. Mm-hmm. I had a problem with it, injured it when I was 30, didn't even know it. And then it got really, really, really bad. I couldn't do anything. Couldn't lift weights, couldn't run, couldn't play basketball, couldn't play golf. And I finally got it fixed. And I started to think to myself, maybe age really is just a number.
Okay.
Because I used to play in the 3-on-3 hoop it up tournaments when I was in my 30s or younger. And it was always, we did really great the first day. And then the next day it was like, oh, well, we're old. You can't, your muscles can't recover like they used to. Okay. And I thought, well, maybe that's not true. Mm-hmm. So I think some of it is up there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we still want to see those comments, but now it's time for the next question.
Okay, I'm ready.
As we told you, today's show is all about you. So here's the next one. What were you allergic to as a kid that you basically grew out of as an adult? Did you have one?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
So you were never allergic to anything, and you still aren't?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
That I know of.
Getting old is better than the alternative.
That's true. Well said.
That's very true. And you hear people say, hey, every day above ground is a good day.
What was your, I was just looking at the phone call coming in.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
I'll have to call them back. At least I turned the sound off. I didn't even know I was getting a phone.
So.
Oh yeah, the AARP. We talked about that on one of those shows. Remember?
Oh, and Judy was adamantly opposed. So I had to get the card so she could get her free Dunkin' Donut.
Remember when you turned 50?
But she didn't want to use her own.
Use your AARP. They used to do that. I don't know if they.
I think they start sending it when you're like 30.
No, not sending the card. I mean, giving the donut at Dunkin'.
Oh yeah, they stopped doing that.
Yeah. I was never allergic to anything as a kid. My brother was allergic to, it seemed like everything under the sun. Poor guy. But it was basically when they did all those, back then they used to do like 50 shots in one arm and 50 shots in the other arm. And it turned out he was allergic to mold and mildew. So basically, if you had a lot of dust around the house, any kind of, he wasn't allergic to animals though.
I thought you were going to say it turned out he was allergic to shots.
Well, yeah, that too. Blew up like a balloon on both arms. Poor kid. Yeah. But But now, okay, so I'm still looking for those. No allergies as a kid or now. Okay. That's good. I just think it's funny how some people's systems really change. Right. No allergies as a kid, but gotten a few more. Yeah, based on the season. Okay. It was so funny. I went to a class the other day, and it was the most spectacular, beautiful, what's the word I'm looking for? Humid-free day. Just gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And I went to class, and there was a girl. She was going over to get her mat, to set it out in front of the bar. And she said, "Oh, today is killing me." And it had to do with the weather. Like something was acting up in her joints, and she was talking about allergies. So something on the trees, even though it was a beautiful day, was causing her a lot of allergic to voice. No allergies. That's good. So nobody had allergies as a kid that you grew out of as an adult. Gravy. And I still can't. Well, that's true. Paul, you were allergic to Brussels sprouts, and you still are. Yeah. Not really. Not really. Like ragweed. Still allergic to ragweed, though? I mean, has that been forever, or was it something that you grew out of? I'll have to wait and see. How's this for a topic? Do you like laser eye surgery? Actually, you had
I had surgery. Actually, before the laser was available. It's called radiokeratotomy. Yeah. And they did incisions on the eye. And it was okay, but it wasn't permanent. So in other words, now I still have to wear contacts. But I had that 10-year run that was awesome, Waking up and seeing the time on your alarm without having to reach over, put your glasses on.
There you go. None as a kid or now, but nor for my husband or I. Strange, my son is allergic to peanuts. One of his peanut allergies. So you're very careful on a plane, I guess. All right, so that was that question. Now, here's another question. Okay. Oops, did I just get rid of it?
I don't know.
What happened? Where did it go? Update. Okay, I'll see if I can show it now. Show. Okay, there you go. What are you allergic to as an adult that you weren't as a kid? So I was never allergic to anything as a kid, but I think I have an allergy now to eggs.
That's true.
Never, ever used to have, because it's not like something where I break out, but my tummy starts gurgling, and I love eggs every single way you can think of making them.
The only meal that Judy really eats like a normal person was breakfast. She would eat 2 items at breakfast. But since I've known her,
three breakfasts in one, things would just keep coming.
and it's what I said also, I think on our breakfast video. It's like, if I make an omelet for Judy, she'll eat half of it. Yeah. Wow. She'll say, just make 1 egg. First I'd do 2 eggs and she'd eat half of it. Then she'd just make 1 egg. So I'd make 1 egg, she'd eat half of it.
It just came to be this thing, as a habit to always leave a little something behind. Yeah. Had really bad allergies, took 4 shots. Wow. Grew out of them after I had a child, but now he has allergies. That's very interesting, actually.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that question did inspire. Yeah. So almost, I don't know if that means that it's a dairy allergy. Like, can you eat things like yogurt? Yeah, a lactose intolerance. Or cheese. Can you eat cheese? But yeah, I just get that gurgling.
Yeast free, right?
Oh, yes, exactly. Well, that's interesting, LaDon. I was talking about eggs sort of giving me that gurgling tummy, even though I like scrambled and over easy and omelets and egg salads and, as I say, every way you can think of. I don't think that I am allergic to them necessarily, but I never had issues with them before. But the yeast thing is interesting. But so you have a yeast allergy, and so you cook and eat yeast-free or gluten-free. How do you know you didn't have that as a kid?
That's true, you might have.
Because if you're allergic or have an intolerance to something like that, and there really wasn't any gluten-free type dieting, what would that be? 40, 50 years ago, even 30 years ago? Although kids probably had it and went through all kinds of attempts to understand why they either couldn't keep anything down or just kept getting sick or they would break out. But
our, you know, our generation as kids, you know, we were practically daredevils every day with not only what we did, what we ate.
mm-hmm.
Nobody, I don't even know that I was even parented.
Shellfish. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My mom's allergic to mussels.
Oh, that's true. And
like she can eat everything else, oyster, shrimp, but mussels.
if I couldn't,
it's interesting.
If I couldn't do my lobster rolls,
kiwi.
I don't know what.
Oh, I know.
Kiwi. How about that?
That's kind of is that just because you don't like it? I mean, truth be told, or are you really allergic to kiwi?
I guess it could be.
Sometimes I need water, dry food gets stuck. Yep. Well, that's not an allergy though. Nice try.
Okay, you ready for the last topic?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
Wait, he just springing this one on us,
yeah,
so I
she doesn't
wasn't
have
able
anything to write up.
No, I didn't write it down.
So this one's going to be about like the old school TV show, and I'm going to talk today about Gilligan's Island.
You're going to talk today.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to have a question that everyone has to answer. Now, this won't be the first question. I mean, this won't be the question. The question is going to be like the crush. Like the guys, was it Ginger, Marianne?
Oh, that kind of thing.
The girls,
yeah,
was it the professor? Was it Gilligan? Was it little buddy? Or the skipper, the captain?
Yeah.
No, but my first thing was,
or was it Lovey?
Somebody asked this question one time, and I really thought it was very brilliant. And it said, you know, because, Lovey and
Thurston.
Yeah, Thurston Howell the Third. It was a 3-hour tour.
Yes.
And how many suitcases did Thurston and Lovey have?
And Ginger.
Yes. Well, and that really bothered me for a long time. And then I married Judy and we went on vacation. And then I understood.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that, with your suitcases. No, I thought you were going down the road of, so the professor could do everything under the sun. You know, he could get the radio going. He could make things out of coconuts that have never been done before.
But they couldn't build a boat despite all the wood there.
That's the direction I thought you were going. So is there a question in there?
Yeah, and LaDawn just already answered that.
Oh, okay.
So what was the crush?
Oh, like, what was your crush?
Did you like the professor because he could make a radio out of coconuts? Or did you like happy-go-lucky Gilligan?
Yeah, he was funny.
So he would have been.
But I didn't have a crush. I mean,
well, you have to pick one.
Have a crush. All right, Ginger and Marianne. They were my crush.
They were?
A girl crush. I did. I used to love watching them and what they did and how they acted and how they were with each other and how they got their way, you know, with the men, and the men would always have to do all the work.
Yeah, that's true. But
they always looked amazing.
I would go with Ginger. I mean, Marianne.
Marianne. It was interesting. A lot of guys did go with
It's kind of farm stock, you know, the whole thing. And Ginger seemed a little too needy and a little too easy.
Easy?
Yeah. She was always trying to seduce everybody.
I think your excuse is just that she was out of your league.
Well, clearly.
So let's see who else is around. Oh, there's Marianne. No, she was very cute. They did a good job. I also really I guess I did have a lot of girl crushes when I was a kid with these shows because I used to love Julie on the Love Boat. She was just so cute and so spunky, and she was always just friendly to everybody, got along with it. Remember?
Yeah.
I know. Who knew what was going on behind the scenes?
You remember Isaac.
Poor child, but yeah. We've talked about these shows in the past. It's just so funny because we all remember them. And we all had those nights when we were sure to be right in front of the TV and we had to have our homework all done. Yeah. We had to have our pajamas on, have our teeth brushed, and then we could watch that show at 7:30 on a Thursday night.
Well, you must have been rich. You had TVs.
We had a TV. We had one, black and white. Yep.
The rabbit ears.
With the rabbit ears. Yep. To watch Batman, I would have stood on my head if the rabbit ears didn't work.
Really?
Yes, I love that.
So Adam West was it for you?
Yes, and then I grew up and met him in real life.
You got to work with him?
Yes, on QVC. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is kind of amazing. Yeah, that's so funny that you bring that up. You met so many people. Dr. Kildare was a male crush.
Oh, yes.
That's a good one. Yes, yes. Even the turtles had a crush in the first movie. Casey Jones liked Marianne. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You guys are having some fun with these. That's funny. I love the fact that, oh, Bewitched. Yes. I had a girl crush on her too. They were fantastic. Oh, and Grandmama. Remember Grandmama?
On Bewitched?
Yeah. Wasn't her real name Agnes?
Yeah. Something.
In real life?
Yeah.
She was so funny.
Yeah.
She was so funny.
And then there's I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, but
awesome.
What was with Major Nelson? You know, like, no, Jeannie, don't use any of your powers.
Right.
Let us.
She drove him crazy.
Let us struggle through life.
I'm sure she wished she'd been found by somebody else who appreciated all those powers. But that was perfect. And how about Mr. Ed?
Oh, yeah.
Or Petticoat Junction.
Yes, which was a spinoff, wasn't it?
Yep. Or My Favorite Martian.
Oh,
that would have been a good question.
Green Acres.
Green Acres.
Green Acres was. I used to, and that was always so funny because he was the only normal thing with all the craziness that was
Bobby Sherman
circling him.
You got a chance to meet him? That's funny. Yeah, that's a good crush for sure. Green Acres, right? Very fun. Oh, that was a good one. I think I passed by it.
Which one?
Oh, Agnes
Moorehead. I couldn't remember that name either.
Yeah. I thought when I looked at it real quickly, I thought you said Moonlighting. Wasn't that a TV show with was it
Bruce Willis and Sybil
Shepherd? Yeah. Oh, I love that. That was a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun show too. Get Smart was back in the day.
Love that show.
Right. Yep. Beverly Hillbillies.
Missed it
Hunter.
by that much.
Yep. Golden Girls. Yep. That was a little bit later too than some of the shows we're talking about, but that's a good one. And they were also funny. Brady Bunch. Yes, of course. Yes, absolutely. How funny. Cher. I met Cher when I was 21. That's kind of cool. It's fun to go through and see. Oh, and MASH. That was a great one too. Good point. Hogan's Heroes.
Well, as far as the comedy hours, hands down, the Carol Burnett show.
Yeah.
With Tim
that's
Conway,
a good one too, darling.
Who cracked everybody up. Nobody could keep a straight
even on
face.
set. Yeah, not only the people who are watching the show, but everybody on set too.
Harvey Korman.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. That girl.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that show, and the Mary Tyler Moore show, and the Dick Van Dyke show. Right, Mary Tyler Moore came after Dick
Partridge
Van Dyke.
Family.
That girl, though, oh, loved that Partridge Family. Yeah, somebody mentioned that they had a crush on David Cassidy. Yep.
The Monkees.
Marsha. Partridge Family. Yep. Oh yeah. Here's a good one. Remember this one? The Odd Couple.
Oh yeah.
Great show. I used to love that one as well. That was it.
Krugman and Tony Randall.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very, very fun. Oh, this has been so much fun. Oh my gosh. So we wanted to make it all about you and had no idea in what direction it would go, but we really loved the participation. Sorry, my eyes kept having to dart over to the side, but I wanted to make sure I could get up as much of the comments as I could possibly see come through. And they were just
Mrs. O'Higgins.
I know. Yes. And then later in life, when he created the dwarf character, that's when we met him.
He was,
Yeah, and he was selling his videos on QVC. Too fun. You guys, thanks for joining us. I bet the comments will keep coming through. And you know what's really cute is when people are watching like later in the day or the day after the show and they start commenting as if it's going live and they're participating. So I even love those comments too. Charlie's Angels, another good one.
And nobody said Columbo.
Oh yeah. All those spy shows. You're right. Bye guys. We'll see you next weekend. And wear your green because we'll be celebrating St. Patty's Day a few days early. We'll see you then.